amateur dramatics where they're like, and drown.
Dramatic.
Amateur dramatics.
You go like.
Warm-up exercises. She sells seashells on the seashore.
Welcome to The Vault with Financielle. This is a safe space where we talk all things life and money and no topics are off limits.
Howdy.
This is one of the first episodes for those on YouTube where we've not complimented each other. Not complimented as in like
This is very...
different colours.
Look, the leopard print.
Oh.
Look at us. In case anyone didn't know my name. Fun fact.
Is that another warm-up exercise?
I've got a fun fact.
Go on.
My initials are what?
Her Royal Highness.
HRH. Holly Ruth Holland. Don't steal my identity. I have regrets now.
Thank you, Auntie Boo.
But yeah, HH, just in case I forget myself.
Mine a liver function test or lateral flow test.
Oh my God.
Timely.
I thought you were just sharing your, like, I had a liver function test. I was like, oh.
No, her initials.
And my sister's ear, nose and throat, ENT.
Are you a family in the medical profession by any chance?
We're Nana.
Well, I was LHA and I always liked LA because you could wear one of those LA caps.
Oh, yeah,
Be
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, it's personalised. And I'm LP, like Lauren Perrier. So
Oh,
That's good.
I'll take
I
it.
don't have any friends to
LMP.
compare mine to.
what is it?
LMW?
No.
9.
That's like the type of initials that may be on a Louis Vuitton case.
Oh.
Do you know when you get them personalised?
And you can see it in the airport.
When you get them, when people do. I don't
When
never have.
me.
Imagine HRH on that.
Maybe
Oh,
that's
it's
made up.
licensed manufacturing warehouse.
There you go.
Get in.
Made it in life.
You are the vibe.
Made it in life. Okay.
Okay, controversial opinion. Going to make someone very happy with this one. It's okay to spend when you're in debt.
Absolutely not. Joking.
Next.
Yeah, that was an easy one.
What do we mean by spend? What do we think? Like you
That
have to-
implies to
So-
me. Go on.
Spending is inevitable. Like, life costs money.
Mhm.
There's a fine line between needs and wants.
Mm-hmm.
Do you need that nice apartment? Do you just need like a basic one for now? Etc.
Yeah. So non-bougie spending.
There's different types of debt as well. So like student debt. So okay to spend when you're student debt. Lots of people will have student debt hang around for a long time, with especially nowadays. And so would you forego any type of discretionary and happy and extra spending because you have student debt? No, you wouldn't forego it. You do it. And, you know, car loans that tend to take lots of periods of time to pay off. I think this is a way to reframe this is, if you're on a debt-free journey, if you decide I want to pay off my consumer debt, you absolutely shouldn't be spending excess money because it will take you absolutely ages.
And you're less likely to then stick to it because it's
just
so
like forever. Like just get it
laborious.
over and done
Yeah.
with. And so sometimes that pulling back on spending, and you get especially if you're a dopamine hitter from a spend, you get it from paying it off the debt. But I think it's more connected to if you're happy to have that debt kind of hanging around and you're not motivated to pay it off, then why should you pull back spending? Because what are you going to do with the extra money anyway? Like save it. You've got the debt and it's just all a bit. So, but if you want to pay it off, spending is going to slow you down quite a bit.
What do you think?
I think I like what we said in the past few episodes about sinking funds. Like, it's the same concept. Like, it's inevitable that you're going to spend. You need your car fixing. Obviously, not insurance, emergency fund, vital. But it is like, okay, what's the minimum amount we can spend at Christmas? We're going to have to buy people presents, children presents, whatever. What's the minimum amount we can do? Like, what is the minimum amount we can do for everything until we pay this debt off?
Yeah. Going with a, like, you don't want to be in a lack mindset, but you kind of want to be in a, we have to.
Progressive.
Yeah, we're
So
never
are
going to
you saying if anyone is in debt, I'm not talking like student debt, I'm talking
credit
consumer
card,
debt.
consumer debt, yeah.
They're not allowed to go on holiday.
No, I think So I think I'm all about realism. So the reason why I would say it's okay to have a travel sinking fund if you're on a debt-free journey is because if you're going to go on holiday, you're going to go on holiday. Let's not pretend you're not, because what happens is if you don't have a travel sinking fund and you crack on and you go, we're not going away this year, and then you get tempted to go away because everyone's going on holiday and you want a last minute, you will put it on a credit card. And so the biggest thing we can do for people is really help them to disassociate with credit as a means of funding things, which is why it's, if you're going to go away. Now, again, this is all about choices. Do you go for a week in Spain or a week in Dubai? Do you go for a weekend in Wales, which sometimes is expensive anyway? Or, do you go to America? Because there's choices within that. And if you are going to continue to spend spend beyond your means whilst also thinking you're trying to pay down debt, or just because at some point in the future you'll pay down debt, you just add into it. And I think I can imagine this, it's been so long since I've used credit that I'm trying to remember what it's like when you have a balance on a card and this just sounds so stupid. You put more on it. I'm struggling to remember that time where you were, and it's might be because you've not got any money in your current account and that you're using it to kind of fund the gap. But sometimes it might just because you go, I'll put it over there because then I don't have to deal with it yet. And I'm so naive to that now. I'm so far from that I have to really empathize better with people that are in that situation.
I think if you've got a goal to pay off the debt, then it would seem a little bit strange to go and spend excessively on things that are wants, not needs. Whereas for a lot of people, they don't have a goal to pay off the debt and they're just living day to day. So it's probably just the norm. But it's controversial. Probably yes, because 90% of the population would be like, doesn't everyone function on credit? Whereas us geeks in the corner are like, we don't have credit. What do you mean? So it probably is controversial because we're not 9% of society, where it's just completely normalised.
To where it's conducive to a goal. So if you want to run a marathon and you never do a training run, it's probably going to be a tough run.
Why do I look at you and laugh?
You do lots of training, but it's probably going to be a tough run, isn't it?
You absolutely trained for your marathon and ran it. I just laughed at you.
Oh my God, I was going to correct her then and say half. I still half still impressive, Lucy. Sorry.
It was only a half.
It was half a marathon more than we ran. So, but yeah, I think it's about whether they're doing the goal or not. Because if they're not, it's not controversial. It's just a way of life for lots of people.
Well, I feel like this goes nicely onto our first dilemma. So, I can't give up my Bougie membership. Hi, girls. I have been on my debt-free journey for around 6 months, which all started with becoming completely teetotal, which allowed me to get a grip on my life and free up time. From drinking and being hungover to having complete handle on my life and start tackling the £14,000 debt I have managed to accrue through spending way beyond my means and racking up debt across several cards. I work in central London in luxury, and I'm very used to seeing clients spend hundreds of thousands on purchases throughout the year, and I've become extremely desensitized to the value of things. I also spend as though I live their lifestyle, as I am very friendly with many people in these circles, and they really are just normal people who I get on with, despite the huge differences in financial circumstances. In this time, I've also managed to get a promotion with a substantial pay rise, which is due to me getting my shit together. My dilemma is that I'm part of a very bougie private members club in London, which also has a gym, restaurants, country club, and a space to work on my own business and meet clients. The cost of this space is £250 per month, which seems reasonable to me. What are your thoughts on whether this monthly expense is worth paying?
Really good dilemma. She's done a lot in the last few months. I replied to this actually because it was a community dilemma out in the open, so you can see my live response and other people's. But
can't remember what I said.
The fact, I really picked up on the fact that she finished it by saying she meets clients there and that's how she grows her business. So if you split out, if a gym is non-negotiable in her budget and a co-working space is somewhere non-negotiable in her budget, she's probably going to spend over £250 in London a month on those things anyway. So straight away I was like, that's not technically bougie, and it's all relative. A £40 gym membership a month for someone could seem really bougie to someone that works out at home for free and would never dream of paying for a membership. So it's really hard to be like, is this bougie? Well, if it's in line with your budget and that's where your clients are, it's arguably a business expense as well. So you can have a look at that. But it doesn't seem overly bougie to me. She sounds like she's very much in control of her money. She's even saying she's in two minds because she's written a dilemma to be like, I don't want to give up my bougie one, but at the end finishes it with, I don't think it's very bougie after all. So she's kind of answered her own question. That seems to me that someone might have planted the idea that that's quite a bougie expense, and she's kind of gone, is it? Like, is that a bougie thing to do? I don't think it is.
So if someone was spending 250 quid a month on a leased Peloton, for those of you that do, listen to what I'm going to say next, and you have £14,000 of debt, that would be on the list to go for me. Whether you could or couldn't get rid of it. But that's a kind of example where if you were in that amount of debt and you're serious about paying it off and there's not a lot of room in your budget, that's one of the like optional nice to haves in a budget. You know, same as if you shop at M&S regularly and you can do a switch to a more affordable brand. You know, those are the choices that we make. When it's what I would say is, and maybe why she's asking us this is, we can convince ourselves of anything. Yeah. So I need it for work. Then this is for probably more other people listening, because I feel like she's answered the question. Do you need it for work or do you want it for work? Do you actually meet your clients there or do you not really? How much do you spend when you're in there?
I was just about to say, because she said there's a cafe, and I'm getting flashbacks of David Lloyd when we were younger. We all had a family membership, and my mum was like, basically all we used to do was go to the cafe and have tea. So we'd pay to eat in a cafe, and pay for the cafe as well.
And the cafe was not cheap when you're in it. And,
no.
And so I feel like, again, where it's because the thing is, she says she works in luxury, and in my head I was like, oh, does she have a job? And then this is like an extra business, or for my business, or is her whole business the thing that she does at the Bougie Club?
I
Do you know
asked
what I mean?
her, was she employed, and could she charge some of the membership cost to her employer? She has to prove
that it's got a significant ROI, including all spend.
100%. She needs to look at the £250 monthly thing, how much does she spend when she's in there, and prove to herself or the company that she works for, because it's not quite clear whether she's self-employed, that she gets the return. 100%. Because if she doesn't, then it is a bougie thing, and you can go for a run around the street and go meet your client in a coffee shop, and very nice coffee shop. Because
surely, unless she can have guests, the only other people can be people that are actually members there. Yeah, workshop that. I mean, listen, for a co-working space, that's cheap.
I was about to say,
for a space for a month, that is cheap, with a gym as well. So that even in the north, that would be.
Imagine taking a pal lunch.
Take your Tupperware.
I would literally be like, tinfoil.
And like your water bottle. Can I fill up my water, please?
Froob.
A baby bell. Get your baby bell.
Your grapes cut in half. No choking hazard.
Baby bell wax. You're like,
it's a shuttlecock.
I went to when I went met someone for a meeting in a cafe last week, but it was the cafe of a co-working space that we used to go to. And I'd picked up lunch from M&S.
Oh, yeah, I was with you.
And hadn't really thought this through, and then was meeting someone in a cafe, and I was like, I'm getting it out. I've been up since 5 at the BBC. She's like, can you give me my food? I'm starving. And so I'm like, knowing that it was cheaper from where I got it from versus in the cafe. And then I think I was like, we'll buy a coffee. One coffee between all of us.
It was very all blurred lines because it's in a co-working space. Yeah. So you're like,
but it is the cafe
of the co-working space, what people were co-working and
I think the big message here is, firstly, well done for asking that question. This is questioning everything in your budget. Nothing is off limits. Everything gets a question, because at least you've covered it. And then the second point is, we can always convince ourselves of anything. So I need the Peloton because of this. I need that gym because of this. And so if you were sat here with us and you were happy to evidence it all out, how would you feel?
Torch in a face.
Yeah. Like in a torture room.
How many clients did you meet last month?
Well, the CCTV evidence shows that you...
How many croissants did you buy? How much paddle did you play?
It's that healthy challenge, which is it might be absolutely worth it, and it brings in that extra bit of revenue, happiness, whatever. But what else can you be doing? So if it's bringing in more revenue, then how more quickly can you pay off your 14 grand? And also just a slight nudge to the designer element, which is when people don't have as much, and we want designer. When you get a bit desensitized designer, it is because of your space, and that is really difficult. And so you're going to have to try really hard to know that they're okay, but I'm not them, and that's not going to make me happy. Being debt free is going to make me happy. That handbag's not going to make me happy. like a house deposit is or a nicer rental place is, that kind of stuff.
The regrets we've got over designer handbags, like, just cannot be underplayed. Like, they're literally taking space up in my wardrobe. I can't be bothered to get off my arse and sell them and
like
take the pictures. How many conversations have we had about this? Lucy's like, give it to me.
Bag,
I will take a percentage of me selling it for you because I'm bored of you talking about it. They won't take mine. Call me.
But, you know, I am genuinely anti-label.
I am now.
I try and actively find things that don't scream a label. And I think it's really hard nowadays because I don't want someone. So I've got a Chanel handbag. We've both got one. We both bought them when we were young. And I've got friends that have them and like each to their own. I don't like using mine. Firstly, I'm convinced I'm going to get robbed.
Yeah.
Secondly, I don't want someone else to think I'm better than them and that you should aspire to have this bag on their arm. Because even though the prices have gone up ridiculously, the fun fact of it all is you can't sell them easily. So it's not this, it's now worth $8,000. No, it's not. It's like, you can't sell it for that. But secondly, it would have done as well, if not better, would have put that money in the market. And no one taught me that when I was younger. And so it's usually poorer people and working class people that aspire to have designer labels. It's why they go and get fake, stuff from here, there and everywhere. It's not impressive. And it's this chasing this thing that is not valued by wealthy people. It's just they like higher quality and they've got it, but they're not like living for the new bag. Not really. And so I don't like wearing labels because I don't want to inspire someone to want one. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so much sense.
Just
I'll
wear a
only
Financielle
accept them
jumper.
as gifts.
Right, I'll give you the bag. God's sake.
No, I
Actually
would
a
literally, you would never catch me buying my own designer item.
No, it's only gifted.
Yeah,
I only accept gifts.
literally.
And
Apart
cash.
from the Balenciaga trainers. They were
They were
gifts.
gifts. You would buy them myself.
Oh no.
Can we just talk
okay.
about this? Balenciaga trainers. When had you only just got them
They were
when
trash.
you first started working with us, or
No,
had
I
you
got
had them a while?
No, I
She
got
was
them
a
for
trend
21st.
setter, not a trend follower.
Got them for my 21st. I was actually, hopefully my dad does not listen to this. I was sick on them the next day. So I was drunk.
You do know that's going to be cut up as a montage for socials. Lydia's
The camera
laughing.
so he couldn't see you, but you still said it into the microphone.
Don't look at me.
Mrs. Dad, don't listen.
Does your mum know?
Don't get her in trouble.
She does now. Because I know Jen listens.
Yeah, I'm just a bit of a wrecker, to be honest. Of like physical things, like I just wear stuff to the death.
You're like the people on
Made evident.
You're like the people on TikTok that they get an Hermes bag and they just like throw graffiti paint
I
on
would
it.
do that. Use it.
Yeah. Oh, my Chanel box is literally in
Yeah.
a box up high, never to be seen again.
Really?
I sold a Chanel handbag and a Celine handbag to start Financielle.
Really?
True story. We'll
That's
go into it one day.
incredible.
Not today.
That's incredible. Okay, community win. Emergency fund came to the rescue today. My car had its MOT and needed some work, totaling almost £300. Without my emergency fund, this would have previously gone on either a credit card or Monzo Flex, but I didn't have to resort to either. I'm going to start building a sinking fund for next year's MOT from this payday too, as well as building my emergency fund back up, so I'm not caught out again next year.
Woo!
If you could bottle up the feeling of paying for your first MOT, new tyres, service, bullshit, with a sinking fund, we would make a lot of money if you could bottle
Lydia.
Yeah.
It's like drugs.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Not
Just
that
pay
I
off
would
your
know.
MOT in cash.
You can imagine it's like.
I would imagine it's like drugs.
But did you enjoy? Like was it really weird?
Yeah.
Because it's not normal.
Yeah, no, it's like be your own sugar daddy, innit?
Yeah.
Be your own sugar daddy. But I think that people either absolutely whack that stuff on a card because there's not enough money in the account because you didn't plan for it, or there is money in the account, you pay for it and you go, oh, I've got no money left. Like I hate paying for things from my normal money. I hate it. So when money can come from a sinking fund, we recently had 2 services last week and we spent 700 on 2 services and I don't know what that bit needed. I didn't take it. So whoever.
New tyres. I was there.
New tyre. Okay. New tyres.
It was a family trip. Like 7 of us took cars because everyone needed to give each other a lift and it was all organised by my dad.
Big day out.
There was a plan. There was a rota across days. But 700, right? 700 out of our main budget would have massively knocked us off. Like there's not 700 in the budget. It's allocated towards different things. And it's just paid, done. Not even. And like I said, if you could bottle the feeling of the first time you do that, because I hate using savings for things that just feel like not important and dipping
Just
into
like life
it.
admin.
And then otherwise you're adding it onto a card and it's another thing to pay off. So yeah, we're bottling it. We're selling it for Christmas. Perfume.
With Lydia's face on it.
Yeah, with Lydia's face on it.
If you'd like to tell us your win, head to the community in the app or email it to thevault@financielle.com. Okay. I don't feel as financially.
I can't write the word financial anymore.
Every time
I
I
write
type the word-
financial.
Yeah. My laptop's like, financial? Do you mean financial? Not financial. Okay. I don't feel as financially free as I should do. Hi, ladies. I'm planning ahead as I'm nearly out of the survive phase and into the build phase.
Yay!
Woo! I can't wait to be debt-free, but I feel like that debt payment simply switches to a larger emergency fund payment. I'm worried it's going to feel like I should have gained extra cash every month, but in reality, it's still going to be a large payment each month, where I don't feel as financially free as maybe I thought I would. How do you stay motivated as this feels like a tough part of the journey, as you still have to knuckle down and reach that next savings goal? Where do you find the balance and the new dopamine hits?
She's
Such
on
a
the
good
plateau.
one.
She's on the plateau of dreams. It's like the come down after the high of, like, the debt-free journey is so intense, isn't it? It's where you doing all the learning. It's where all the low-hanging fruit, as we call it, I can cut that subscription. I can sell that on Facebook Marketplace. And
It's so addictive, that survive part of the playbook, isn't it?
yeah. And I feel like the word survive talks about how intense
quite
it is.
intense, yeah.
Survive versus build, like they've got a different energy.
We need to rename it. It's
Yeah.
your butterfly phase. You grow your wings, your financial wings, and fly. Build. Yeah, we're marketeers. Like, come on now, we need to work on this.
No, I think
I sympathise
I think
with
it's
this.
life.
I think I went through this a little bit. I think everyone probably does, where you come out
I
of
think
the,
everyone does.
I've done it, I've paid off the debt. You're like patting yourself on the back. Laura said loads of learnings. And then you're suddenly like, oh, I've not got loads of excess cash to blow on shit. Because that's what you want to do. Because you've not done it for so long. You're going back into you're being like, it's your sensible phase. I felt that's the way I can describe it. But then it's not for that long. So one thing I would say, if it's talking about building your emergency
Depends
fund,
whether you've bought a home yet, because they're two big chunky
they
things
are,
you have
but you
to
have to split them
save.
up, don't you? Because it will then feel like a really long. You got to set yourself maybe 2 goals, like extended emergency fund or saving for a home or whatever it might be. But then when you're out of there, you're into grow, and that's
Grow
really
is
exciting.
so fun.
That's your sexy in your
Grow. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, grow is when you are taking your excess cash to grow it. So you're investing, you're overpaying your mortgage because it's bringing your net worth up. You are hopefully, and this is a bit in build as well, which is another reason it can slow you down. So we've got survive, which is make sure you've got a 1 month's expense emergency fund minimum, a bit more if you feel more comfortable. And then let's get rid of your consumer debt. Consumer debt holds you back massively from being able to do most of the things in the rest of the playbook. And once you've kind of done that, you move on to build. And build is your larger emergency fund, which again is completely subjective. It depends if you are self-employed, if you have a stable job, if you don't have a stable job, if you're a single income family, if you're a double income household, whatever, you pick your number. And you also at this point choose to save for a home or a home renovation or a home upgrade if you wish to. So if you've sorted and you don't need to, you can skip it. But the third part of build is big life goals. And this is really important because this is where you still need to save hard for that emergency fund. And if you want to save for a house deposit, really you want to do it as quickly as possible. But at the same time, we want you to nudge your budget a little bit and incorporate big life goals. And they could be better travel. like an increased clothing fund, a house interiors, like the stuff that you have
like
been.
investment in yourself if you've always wanted to have it like a hobby.
Gym,
like,
wellness, beauty, hobby, just the things that, the extra subscriptions. If you were like a Netflix addict, but you went without, this is the time to put those things back in. And what that does is it shrinks your excess a little bit. So they've got a twofold here. One, we want you to increase expenses and get used to spending again. Because it's really important that we teach people how to spend and invest, spend and grow their money at the same time, or spend and save at the same time. It's still okay to do that.
It's not one or the other, because I think life's it would be very difficult if you just went all in on one of those, because you probably ended up in that situation because you were the spend everything and not do anything, which is why you started in Survive.
You would still like to think that even if you are increasing your spending in some areas, your excess will still be big because you've no debt. So you've no consumer debt. So hopefully you're in this space, and hopefully at this space, be able to invest in yourself and grow your income maybe, and have a look at that. What would our tips be though for getting her to feel motivated and not feel... I mean, we've talked about this before, financial poor, haven't we? Which is like
financial broke.
You're financial broke. You put money into your sinking funds, so you're all prepared, and there's a nice total over there. But because you can't see them, you look in your bank account and you feel like, oh, I've done all this work and all this stuff, and I've still only got like a small amount. And it's because you're kind of planning for stuff. But I think we've talked before about mini wins.
Yeah, you have, though it can feel like a long slog, especially if you just come out of a really intense time of paying down debt. Now you're like, and now I'm not going to see any benefit of it. I'm going to save. But those are goals in themselves. Paying off debt is a massive goal. And like I said, it's very addictive. But yeah, you want to keep the momentum going. But I've seen a lot of people in the community say, I just took a break for 1 month. And after that month, they're like, oh, that was really chaotic. I'd actually, give yourself grace.
Not take a great month's
but then
break.
People then go, oh my God, I actually didn't like it.
Because I didn't take a break. I thought I would, but I did it.
So giving yourself permission to take a break could actually be quite
Imagine having
good.
a month of like no budget.
We've told Holly she has to do it.
You're not allowed to move any money into any pots. It all has to stay in one account.
Laughing like, this is crazy.
We're the weirdos.
Madness.
That's like saying now where Laura's the same, been on a fitness journey for like 2 years where it's minimum 5 days a week probably going to the gym and feeling like really good for it, strong and healthy, and like a routine, which don't think I've ever truly invested
not
in
fitness
before.
wise.
So if you we're going on holiday on Saturday, if you said to me you can't work out all week, I'd be like, okay, rocking in a corner, because that habit's been like instilled into me. It actually makes me feel good.
It's the way you sort your day out.
Yeah,
just like it's the way you sort your money out. So
when some people when you go back off holiday, because everyone's got these trackers, so it's very similar to Financielle, this health and wellness kind of
My Zone.
Yeah, you got a My Zone, and people like they'll comment in the group like, I thought you were supposed to be on holiday. Why are you not taking it easy?
Points means prizes. Well, they don't mean prizes. It's just victory.
It's because it brings me enjoyment. It's not because I feel like I need to keep it up. I would actually feel quite uncomfortable if you said to me, you can't take your gym or running stuff on holiday. I would feel quite stressed about that. It's like my safety blanket now, and it's my habit and it's my routine. So I feel like, tell yourself that you've got a month off, and I bet you within 2 days you're like, I want to do my budget. Okay, I'm back to it now. Like you just have options.
Retrain that dopamine.
Yeah. And also let's think about these goals. So if she's in build, it's a bigger emergency fund. Let's pretend that's £10,000. Chunky emergency fund, like a good emergency fund. She could break that up into 10 £1,000 or 4 £2,500. And every time she hits 2.5, which might take like 4 months, say, or 3 months, if depending on how aggressive she is, or 5 months if it's a bit longer, bougie dinner, make or like nice outfit, like, because it's worth every 2.5 grand spending 100 quid. Do you know what I mean? To kind of
keep you like
get the motivated. In the Financielle app, you could have 4 mini goals rather than a £10,000 goal tracker.
Yeah, because it's
parcel 1, parcel 2.
Heavy going, isn't it?
And a little picture of what you're going to get yourself after.
Yeah, a picture of the thing that you're going to get, and whether you get it or not. Like, at least it's just working towards
she won't
those.
Get it.
Yeah, you can dangle the carrot.
Yeah.
It's like one of those like
fishing line.
Fishing line. You're just following it.
It's all like...
It's all tricking
it's
yourself.
all up here.
It definitely is.
All
but you
up
have
here.
to do it.
But also, I think we've seen this before. You're not the only one. So in this community, everyone build people should be getting together, grow people should be getting together, grow people should be inspiring the build and the survive people. We want everyone to move up and graduate. Everyone graduate through the stages. Oh my God, we should have a hat. You should have a graduation hat.
Pink hat.
What are they called? Mortarboard. Pestle and Malta is a
I went
different
like
thing,
this.
isn't it?
It's very American.
Oh yeah.
Elwoods. Or you move the tassel over.
Yeah.
Survive to build.
So break it up. Let's celebrate. Pick some bougie things for the little treats, whether you do or don't get them.
Gamify it.
Yeah.
Trick yourself.
Yeah.
I like that.
And make sure you're tracking your net worth, because your excess should
That's
be
true.
bigger than it was in Survive, even if you
That'll
won't be
give you
spending.
dopamine hits.
Yeah.
Seeing that go up. Okay. Any final words today? Silence.
Absolute silence. No,
I mean,
well, for holiday, I think it's an interesting one with the fitness connection. I think more people should think, if you're struggling a bit with your money journey, think of it a bit like a fitness journey. Like, it's all about habit, it's all about routine, it's all about the little dopamine hits. It's how we trick our brains. And
it shouldn't be about weight loss, which is like the debt payoff win. It's like health and wellness for life.
Yeah, it's
like,
building the habits. It's
I was like, enjoy the process.
the journey.
build the
I
strong
love how, by the way,
foundations.
everyone like, oh, I wish it was like when I was in debt. Are you kidding me? But it's true. Like, all the good old days when we had no money and we had to sell the couch and there was camping
It's
chairs.
because you have that, like, we're all coming together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why the name Survive is really important, because it's like, that's how serious you've got to take it, survival.
Yeah.
But let's see you graduate.
That's all for this episode. The Vault is now closed. Just a quick disclaimer, The Vault is just a chat around life and money topics, and we are not giving financial advice.